Welcome to Perspectives Live. Each week we bring you timely insights, expert perspectives, and the trends shaping what's next in banking, credit unions, and fintechs. Today we'll be hearing from Shana Hennigan, our EVP of Client Strategy here at SRM. Welcome, Shana, to today's episode of Perspectives Live. You have such an interesting background shaped by your experience working with global financial institutions, even large national and regional FIs here stateside, and more recently, fintechs. I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about your background and why you have such a diverse perspective. Let's dive in.
So I've been in this business for quite a while. Had the opportunity to cut my teeth at Merrill Lynch and Bank of America, where I had a phenomenal education in the banking industry. And I was also lucky enough to cover financial institutions in that role. So it's something I've been doing for nearly 25 years, whether it's large global banks or community institutions. I've really had the opportunity to see the entire banking spectrum. And it's something that I love and something that I feel grateful for every day that I get to continue to do.
We've absolutely seen kind of that uptick of applications for bank charters, for fintechs wanting to obtain a bank charter, or some of these emerging players coming in from Europe. So talk to us about what's driving these charter applications. Is it regulatory? Is it experiential? Is it all of the above? I would love to get your take.
So I think it's a combination of a few factors. I think we're seeing a lot of large fintechs now reach a level of maturation where they have a understanding of compliance and regulatory implications. They have the team to take on that burden. So going and getting a charter where they're in a very heavy regulated industry, they now have the bandwidth, experience, and headcount to support that. So I think that's part of it. I think there's still a little bit of a leftover wariness with the bank sponsor model. The idea that you don't have to worry about a third party for these very important aspects to your business, I can see the larger fintech seeing that as enticing. But the driver behind all of this, candidly, is a very different regulatory backdrop. For years, we have seen a decrease in the industry in terms of number of institutions. When I started, there were over 8,000 banks in the US, FDIC insured banks. We're now at just over 4,000. And we have seen a lot of consolidation, which makes sense, right? Scale to be able to handle the regulatory burden, to be able to really grow and meet clients' needs. But part of it is there just hasn't been many charter approvals.
Let's talk about what could maybe go wrong. A lot of obviously due diligence takes place, but what do banks really need to be aware of and look at very clear-eyed when going into these fintech partnerships?
Absolutely. Like you said, fintechs can be a great boon for financial institutions, or it could be a quagmire that you don't want to get involved in. So I think one of the most important things that community banks, regional banks, credit unions need to look at when they are evaluating a fintech partnership is you can have the coolest piece of technology, but what are the expertise around the fin part? Are there people on staff in leadership positions that really do understand the financial services industry, the regulation with which this product sits? How articulate are they there? How much compliance do they have around it? And so I think when institutions are doing due diligence, paying attention to both the fin and the tech is very important. So for institutions that are looking to partner, I think getting a real sense as to what type of compliance does this institution have that is going to make your regulatory exam easier? The last thing an institution wants to do is sit in an examination with the regulator and say, well, the fintech told me this is so, right? Trust yet verify is still very important as a part of the diligence process when partnering.
What perspectives do you need to share with banks to either want to compete head on, want to partner, or want to really kind of have their own destiny and path forward?
I think it's really just understanding your strategy. Again, you can't be everything to all. So it's really understanding what you're good at, what constituencies you're really serving in the market, and whether that is using fintechs to support that ambition, whether it is going head to head because you are a bank and you come with all of those privileges that a banking charter offers. At the end of the day, it comes down to strategy, discipline, and staying very focused on that North Star of what your bank's mission is? Do you have the right people to execute it? Do you have the right technology to execute it? Or are you bound by legacy issues, be it technology, be it strategy, be it just an old way of doing things? I think really taking that fresh look and understanding, what does that 5-year plan look like? How are we going to get there? And engaging people who can help you get there, right? This is not every institution's expertise, but there are a lot of folks out there who can support institutions in making those right decisions, evaluating the market, and putting together a very holistic strategy to get where they're going.
As you think about what's on the horizon, there's been, again, a ton of activity, a ton of exciting things happening in the financial sector, both globally and stateside, the first 6 months of the year. What's ahead? What are we anticipating the next 6 months? What's the Shana crystal ball here? More activity, more charter applications, more consolidation, more tech partnerships. What's really on the horizon that bankers should be paying attention to?
The best advice I heard was prepare, don't predict. And I can't take credit for that. But I think at the end of the day, particularly since, we've moved into the 21st century, there has been a lot of volatility, a lot of change, and things that come out of nowhere, right? So we could have the best predictions in the world. I think back to prior to 2023 and all of the different interest rate forecasts that folks had for what the rate environment would be at the end of 2023. You could have thrown all of them in the garbage after certain events happened, and we had a completely different macro environment. So, again, having a strategy and being focused on it, continuing to execute, and having something that survives through all different market environments, right? Being prepared. I think that's very important. There's a lot of different things that could happen. We have elections coming up. There could be, a change in leadership that could roll down into regulatory bodies. So the thing is, we don't know. It's continuing to execute on your plan, keep that focus. And, right now, while there is an open window to getting bank charters approved, if that is in your roadmap, move sooner rather than later. You don't want the window to close.
Now's the time. Yes. If anything, you need to anticipate that change is inevitable. And I think being more agile in the operating environment, right, where you can still be very disciplined and focused on execution, but culturally, is your organization one of agility, where you can respond quickly, swiftly, and maximize those opportunities? What's the real headline here for bank and credit union executives? The one takeaway that they need to be paying attention to around these very important topics?
So if you are the leader of a financial institution, a community bank, a credit union, a regional bank, I think it's a very exciting time to be part of the industry. We are on the cusp of a lot of innovation, a lot of change, and it's all happening very quickly. So I think that can be both a challenge and an opportunity for leaders right now. I think there's a lot to digest. I think there's a lot of solutions out there. And in some cases, I think it's very prudent to seek out expertise in these topics, in these different areas, to make sure that whatever partners you are bringing on or whatever strategies you're looking at, it makes sense with that 5-year plan and that roadmap as to where you want to take your institution.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Shana, for sharing your perspective with us today.